Greetings all. Not trying to make the title sound over dramatic, but there is actually what I would consider a bad design in these electrical systems on these international scouts. Um, Not that if you have an international scout, that you just need to go rip out the wiring, because I mean, this one's run for 40 years and it's been fine until now. So what I've experienced was the last few times I've been running it, smelling something kind of strange. Very familiar with the smell of automatic transmission fluid burning on the exhaust pipe. I knew it wasn't that. Didn't quite smell like motor oil on the exhaust manifold, but it did have kind of an oil type smell to it. Couldn't figure out what it was. All the manifolds, exhaust pipes, everything was clean, nothing. So, but yesterday I had pulled it out, was doing a coolant flush, and whenever I went to, I was standing on the driver's side of the, vehicle. The sun was behind me just kind of right that I saw a puff of smoke come up from over here. So I knew something was burning. Shut everything off instantly. Start looking around, look at the manifolds here. Everything's clean and dry. Just happened to notice that the insulation on the wire feed going through the dash here, and I'll show you. Hopefully the light's okay. But essentially this was looking kind of melted, so I touch it and it was just burning hot. It was burning the insulation off, and about to start a fire. That's what was smoking. Everything was just melting right there. Okay, so what's the flaw? The flaw is that we're running a full amperage wire feed through the dash. There's no type of circuit breaker or fault protection on it. So if it grounds out or anything inside there, it's going to be problems. And in this case, I really don't know why. I think maybe just because the connection is not good in this old connector. Things are kind of starting to get loose and dirty and rusted. And so I don't know if the resistance from that is what's caused this to heat up, but I mean, it completely melted the insulation. The insulation's melted to the connection here. So that's got me going ahead. I'm going to do something that I thought I originally could put off until later this year, once we got things, once it got relocated. And but relocation is probably delayed at this point for other reasons. I'm going to go back and do this right. I'm going to pull this wiring out, rewire this, just because I never liked the idea of having this come through the dash anyway. But this recent brush with the near fires, that's just the last straw. I'm going to get rid of it. So you can see back in here, I've already taken the entire dash back apart. Went really fast because I knew every single thing to disconnect, every bolt to take out, every screw to take out, every wire to unplug. Popped it right out, no time at all. This wire, this feeds off the post there on the starter solenoid, so it's straight battery feed, and it comes through, it connects through this connector here. Part of it is your rear wiring harness, and the other is for this to go in. I don't know if you can see this or not, but this is the connector, and it just wiggles and shakes, and it's filthy. And there's the other one, it's the same way. So you can see where it's melted. And this is actually, I've replaced this. This is probably actually a little bit heavier duty wire than what was originally there. So no reason why it should be doing that. Alright, so here we are at the end of the first day, I'll call it. Most all that wiring left right there is for the Phytech system. It looks really messy just because it's all balled up on top of there. It's been around here. Bulkhead connector is out. Don't need this anymore. The wiring kit that I'm coming with has built-in relay for the horn. Now I've got the old harness out, disassembling it, because I am going to reuse some of these circuits in here and these connectors, specifically like the dash. Those are still in good shape, you know, because they've been inside the vehicle. Reusable. The replacement kit, the wiring kit that I've ordered obviously doesn't come with those specific things, so I'll save those. And then I also want to be able to take this wiring from the heater and windshield wipers and such and make sure that I properly reconstruct that. Alright, so the rewire project continues. I've got the front done, just waiting for new headlights that got ordered, but all the wiring to the front is done. The front harness, this is the back harness. It'll go down and under. Just have to get more loom for that, so it'll probably be the last part that I do. Right now I'm working on the engine wiring. I'm gonna clean up all of this, the wiring for the fuel injection, make it really look nice and clean. So probably finish this today and then move to the inside. This looks like a lot, but it's simple. It's not that hard. Probably the most complicated thing is going to be when I get inside and get to the dash, because I'm going to have to reconstruct my instrument harness and such, and so I'll just take my time. I've got new seats. They're supposed to be delivered today. I'm not quite ready for them, but it might make it a little bit easier to be here doing wiring if I got something to sit on. I don't know. Alright, greetings. It's day 3 or 5, I don't know. I've been on call this week for work and I've kind of lost track, but it's been pretty busy. So what I'm working on right now is rebuilding these, the wiring harness for the instruments. These are pretty unique, specific connections, and I'm going to reuse the original gauges and such, so it's all in good shape. I'm just going to rebuild it to go with the new wiring. I've got these schematics that I found online, recreated by EPP, it says. Whoever that is, bless you. These are pretty well done, very helpful. This done today. It's mostly done. So headlight switch is wired, got dimmer switch down there, the ignition switch is wired, the turn signal, all that, the column is wired. So I'm getting ready to do the gauges. I'll have to this is the harness for the wiper switch and the heater blower motor. I will have to, this one's not as in great a shape, so I'm just going to rebuild it completely from scratch. Fortunately, it doesn't have any real unique type connections. These are all ones I can easily get. Oh, it's another new day. Front harness is done. Now I'm just putting the interior back together. I've rebuilt my gauge harness, integrated it in with the new harness. So just getting the dash all put back together. Then the only last thing is just the rear harness I'll get started on, and we'll start doing some tests. This is just a final wrap on the wiring video series. Everything is all done now. Mainly just a little bit of cleanup. I say everything is done. I do need to still reconnect the heater motor. Everything else, mainly just kind of some final touches and such, but for the most part everything is done. You can see so much cleaner. I cleaned up all the Phytech wiring, cut it down to size so it didn't have all the extra. Everything is a lot better now. Dash inside all back together. Currently, what I got going on right now is a long time ago, whenever one day I was getting gas, I got back in to get gas and I went to turn the key and I felt a snap and the key just kind of went loose, and basically that little metal thing in there that slides back and forth with the key broke. And actually, this is how I was kind of my emergency fix there at the gas pump. Was I got in there with a pair of needle nose and were able to pull that rod down there. But so eventually I took this apart, I replaced that piece, but at the time I didn't have the tools or the knowledge to properly put it back together, so I didn't put this back in, and I later lost this, so got a new one from IH Parts America. So working on that. Also, there'll be another video coming specifically about these seats and the brackets that I'm using. Just that's still kind of in a pending process, so more to come on that later. Also, just a few days ago, one thing I've battled on this for a long time was the power steering box leaking out the front shaft, and so I took that off. And also from IH Parts America, I got a seal kit, and so I've replaced the O-ring, the inner seal, the dust cap, and I'm going to get rid of the rag joint. So that's why it's kind of like it is now, because I'm going to order the rag joint elimination U-joint to put in there, and hopefully have a little bit tighter steering. What else? Also, I put a 2-inch caster shims on the front axle to give this thing some caster. It's just kind of a temporary solution for now. At some point I would like to do a cut and turn and put more than just 2 degrees in it, but 2 degrees is better than nothing for now. So that's where things are. More stuff to come as it happens. Thanks for watching.